atop Sulphur Mountain, in his lonely stone cabin, Lou Scagnetti heard a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. So he opened it. And there on his stoop stood the beautiful princess from the valley below. And the wind whipped about her hair, and the snow swirled about her. And Lou Scagnetti froze. The first time in his life, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know whether to kill her and eat her, or whether to bake her some of those tarts he was so fond of. The ones that featured choke cherries and brown lichen and little bits of dust.
Fraser!
What?
What are you doing?
I'm telling you a ghost story. It is customary to exchange ghost stories around a campfire in the wilderness.
We're not in the wilderness.
It's an approximation of wilderness.
No, it's not, Fraser. We're in a park in the middle of Chicago. I had to step over a wino and kick 2 junkies just to get here. This is not the Yukon territories.
It's the Northwest Territory or the Yukon. The thing is, I was feeling a little suffocated at the consulate. I just felt I needed some room to breathe.
You know, I got 2 things to say about that. 1, you are not Daniel Boone, and 2, this air, the less room to breathe, the better.
Dinner?
No, thanks.
Oh, you really should. Everything tastes much better cooked over an open fire. Beef.
Oh, yeah? What about, spaghetti?
Oh, it's delicious. And those Rudy tubers, they're very tasty also.
Where'd you get this?
Diefenbaker dug them up under that tree over there. Oh, here we go again. Mr. Tucci and his pretzels.
Buonasera, Signor Redcoat.
Mr. Tucci, I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. This is Ray. He's with the Chicago Police Department.
Buonasera.
How's it going?
It goes. Hey, there's my boy. Con carne.
Tucci, you spoil him here. Please let me...
No. It's end of day. It's not so fresh. I charge only for fresh. That way I keep my reputation. I better go home. My wife, she's worried for me. Arrivederci.
See you tomorrow.
Si. Ciao.
Nice day.
Yes, he is. He and his wife celebrate their 40th anniversary next week. They had hoped to go to Sardinia for a visit. Now, Mrs. Tucci's very ill. She requires round-the-clock nursing.
Where's Sardinia?
It's in the Mediterranean. It's an island.
What? She's worried for me.
Everything is going to be all right, sir. Help is on its way.
Please. Look after my wife.
Yes.
Chicago PD!
Scumbag!
Stop. Police officer, I'm a police officer. Just, oh, God.
Buonanotte. Mi amore.
how's your nose?
That was some kick.
She was innocent, Ray. She thought you were attacking her. Wait here.
Fraser, you don't have to do this. This is my job.
Well, I promised Mr. Tucci that I would look after his wife. That's a promise I intend to keep.
Yes.
Miss Tucci, we're with the police.
Come on in.
Mrs. Tucci, these men are with the police.
Ah, Mr. Redcoat.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There's been a shooting. I'm afraid your husband is dead.
What do you say? I'm sorry, I don't hear you.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There's been a shooting, and I'm afraid your husband is dead.
Franco!
Yeah. We're just starting the investigation now. I'm very sorry.
I should take her to her room.
Wow.
Wow.
She's something else.
Ray, if you don't mind me saying, that is a staggeringly insensitive remark, considering the circumstances.
Look, Fraser, I'm very sorry for Mrs. Tucci's loss, and I will make every effort to find the killer of her husband, but the fact remains she is a very beautiful woman.
Possibly.
No possibly about it. I don't know who has less sex, me or you, but at least I still think about women. Is that better or worse?
It's an interesting question.
Thank you.
Vecchio, where do we stand on the Tucci homicide?
He was killed with a .32 caliber. At this point, we suspect everyone and no one.
We can rule out robbery as a motive. This is found on the card.
How much is there?
$4,000.
Right. Now, what's a peanut vendor doing with $4,000?
Oh, it's not peanuts, sir.
Damn right it's not.
No, it's pretzels.
Whatever.
He's got a record.
Who?
The deceased did 6 months receiving stolen property in 1953.
Why are we investigating the deceased?
Because we're doing a full investigation.
Yeah, because he's Italian.
What?
He's Italian, so he's got to be mafia, right? He's Italian, he's a gangster. Did you ever stop to think that just maybe he's a decent guy who worked all of his life and saved every penny he has?
And kept it in his peanut cart.
Why not? Fraser carries his around in his hat.
Quite true, sir.
Are you saying I'm prejudiced?
Oh, no, sir, I'm sure she doesn't mean anything like that. It's just that your remark does have the air of cultural stereotyping about it.
Yeah.
Let it go, detective. Remember, you're only pretending to be not Italian.
Ciao, sir. Okay, so what'd you see in the park?
Nothing.
You told the officer you saw something. Now, what was it? Look, I'm not in the mood for 20 questions, so just tell me what you saw.
A guy.
What kind of guy?
A lumpy guy.
Was Mr. Tucci with the lumpy guy?
Yeah.
Was he arguing with this lumpy guy?
No.
Did you ever see Mr. Tucci in the park have any trouble, like an argument with a customer?
Kill somebody over a pretzel.
When did you see this lumpy guy?
Right before the shot.
Can you describe him besides lumpy?
Drooping mustache. Big gut. Skinny legs. Like a fat, skinny guy.
Would you recognize him?
I guess.
Okay, come on. I want you to take a look at some pictures. A lot of different pictures. We got tall guys, we got wide guys, we got a mixture of the two.
You could set your clock by him, sir. The route was predictable and almost never varied. Over the course of the week, it became clear that his route would take him along here, then up to here, and then across to here on Rainier Street, and then straight back through the park.
You memorized the pretzel guy's route.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. It's not something that I actively choose to do. On the other hand, it's not something I actively choose to ignore either.
Fair enough.
I will try to correct that, sir. In the meantime, I thought it might be useful to your men to know where he had been on the day of the murder.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Hey, Frasier, there's Luann Russell on the line. She's calling on behalf of Mrs. Tucci.
Franny, you're a woman, apparently. What do women look for in a man?
You're asking me? Why? What sick thing are you up to?
I'm just asking. I got this friend. So this love at first sight, is that legit? I mean, if you don't make a good first impression, are you dead in the water or what?
Well, you're not deformed or anything, really. I don't know. It really depends. I mean, did you show her your disgusting tattooed or how far you could spit or, you know, that charming thing where you kick holes through the ceiling tiles?
Come on, Franny. Give me a picture.
Ooh, aren't we touchy? Who is this woman?
Nobody. Just someone I met at work.
A cop?
No.
A criminal?
No.
I don't know, Ray. My best advice would be to be yourself, but in your case, I don't think that's a great idea.
Fraser? So, where are we going?
Well, good-looking boy.
That's my son, Frankie.
Your husband never mentioned him.
My Franco and Frankie Jr., they fight. So he ran away 20 years ago.
What did they fight about?
Oh, father and son, what does it matter? What makes a difference? But he'll come back. I know he will.
How long have you worked for the Tucci's?
A little over 2 years.
Can you describe Mr. Tucci?
He's unbelievable. He didn't have a lazy bone in his body. He worked every day from sunup to sundown, never complained. Most people I know just complain about everything, you know?
Yeah, I know.
They're both just amazing. She's got this nerve thing. It's only getting worse. Some days she can't hold a book. Her eyes are going. She never complains. I just love her. You know what she really likes?
No.
When I read to her. She loves these big romances. Today I started Sword of Desire by Donald O'Connor. Do you know it?
No, I don't get a lot of time for reading, though, you know, I like reading.
Well, they're great.
Gabrielle's chest heaved with passion.
The wind whipped her raven hair as she stood at the edge of the parapet, thinking only of her passion for Paula. Her lips.
She reads it to me every afternoon. Sometimes she puts it on a tape, so if I get awake in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep, I listen again.
Mrs. Tucci, you said on the telephone that you were frightened.
I just don't understand what happened. See, Franco, he never talk about himself. Never talk about his business. Just shut you right out. That's Franco. But the last week or so, he was not himself. He was, how you say, distracted. He was so nervous. And now someone is... I feel so helpless.
Can you think of anyone who might want to kill him, Mr. Tucci?
No, nobody. It's that park. The crackheads are crazy. I told them it wasn't safe.
Luann, perhaps a gentleman would like a glass of Franco's wine.
Oh, no, thank you.
Detective Vecchia?
No, thanks. I'm working.
I'll have a glass for sleeping.
Yeah, it's late and I'm booking off, so, yeah, a glass of wine would be great. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. Vecchio. Yeah? Okay, I'll talk to you in the morning. Emmy's report, he had cancer. He would have been dead in 2 months anyway.
Oh! I'm sorry. He didn't say anything. He must have known.
What is this? What?
Your husband was ill at the time of his murder. He had cancer.
Franco was dying? They killed a dying man?
They, who do you mean by they?
No. What if they tried to kill me?
No one would have any reason to kill you, Mrs. Tucci.
But no one had any reason to kill Franco either. Oh, I'm afraid.
Please don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to you, I promise.
Oh.
Ray, I think it would be a good idea for me to bivouac here for the night.
You know what?
Well, I'll explain later.
Hey, I know what's going on here.
Ray, please.
Look, you just can't stand it, can you? You just can't stand that she's more interested in me than she is in you.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Look, I'll be back here. 6:30 sharp.
It's a nice clear night. We're sleeping under the stars. Such as they are. I hear it. Ah, Ray. Glad you could join us.
Oh, yeah, I bet you are. Anything happened?
No.
You get called in on any emergencies?
No, it's been very quiet.
Good.
Lou Scagnetti looked across the stone table at the beautiful princess. And he said to himself,
Fraser.
What?
You think she had something to do with it, don't you?
Well, I try not to prejudge people, Ray.
You do. Come on.
Well, all I will say is that I detected a certain, well, almost a musk-like animal wariness about her.
Musk? You're talking to me about musk? I detect a certain kind of musk here myself.
Ray.
Time?
6:30. Coffee?
Anything happen?
No.
You sleep?
Very little. You?
No. What about him?
I don't think he's moved.
You saw it all? Dogs, huh? They have all the fun.
Would seem so. Well, Ray, we should get going.
Look, Fraser, I'm wallowing. Give me a little time for a wallow.
Right you are. Do you, take sugar when you walk?
One.
Can you believe this guy pedaled this entire route every day?
Pull over, will you? Pull over. Pull over. I don't know, I feel nauseous or something if I'm not driving.
Look, I feel nauseous if you are driving.
But you always...
Hey, listen, hey, let's end this right, okay? I'm sick of this argument. Is it because you gotta have a steering wheel in your hands? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, get out of the car. Right now, get out. Hey, this is for your stomach.
suppose you think this is funny, right? You want to know something? It's not funny. It's cruel. I mean, all I said was... What?
Yes.
Well, well, well. The Palermo Social Club.
Let me see if I got this right, Fraser. Luann is a beautiful woman, therefore she must be bad. And since she's a really beautiful woman, that means she's got to be really bad. Is that how it goes inside your brain?
You sure it's my brain we're talking about?
Randy said this was as close as he could come. Mind you, your eyewitness hasn't slept in about 6 months, so he wasn't at his sharpest.
What?
Nothing.
You think this is a woman in disguise?
Well, there is something sort of off-kilter about it.
You think she's involved, don't you?
Ray.
Look, you're going to tell me that this is a false mustache.
All right. The smudge she had on her upper lip when we went to the Tucci household could, and I say could, have been the residue of spirit gum used to hold a mustache on.
Right, and the pillow that fell off the chair.
Might account for the description of a fat man with skinny legs. I say might.
And I suppose that that cassette tape you found in the living room of her reading Sword of Desire, she used that to fool Mrs. Tucci into thinking that she was sitting in a comfy chair reading to her from across the room.
Thereby providing her with an alibi so she could slip out to the park and shoot Mr. Tucci. But as they say, Ray, this is just the purest of speculation.
Right, so why don't we just bring her in here and grill the snot out of her?
Without cause, that would violate her civil rights.
Jack and Dewey called in. Old man Tucci used to bring his pretzels by the Palermo Social Club every day. It's a real wise guy hangout. I mean, you had to have made your bones before you could even get a decaf there. Maybe he heard something.
So you're saying this is mob related?
Hello. Random. Anyone ever heard of random killings?
He owned a home in Lincolnwood, had a couple of semis in Oak Park. No mortgage. He's worth $1.7 million.
Related to the mob.
I would resist the temptation of jumping to conclusions, gentlemen and lady. I mean, by way of example, Joel Bodiak was a humble janitor with the Women Christian Temperance Center in Eagle River, and as honest as the day is long, but by the time he died, he owned a split-level home, 2 power boats, and several expensive pairs of shoes.
Miss Vecchio, the phone records. I want to know what calls were made to and from the Tucci house and who made them.
Probably to Al Capone. Did you ever stop to think this might be personal? I mean, we know this guy's worth $1.7 million, so who inherits it? Did you ever think of that?
Mrs. Tucci, it would appear that your husband has left everything to Franco Jr.
Ah, Frankie. Frankie will take care of me.